all. That's where I'm confused.
Oh, hi.
Hey!
We're in the middle of a very important conversation about what we watched over the 3-day weekend. We'll have it later, maybe with you. But first, we're going to start with some news about The Last Jedi getting a re-edit. And the first movie to go into theaters in Saudi Arabia. What? It's going to be an exciting day. I'm Roth Cornet. That's Spenny G.
Hey now.
Mr. Joe Starr.
Good morning.
Dan's
And Dan
somewhere.
is off seeing a screening that I'm then going to see later today, and then we're going to review tomorrow. It's The Maze Runner. I don't know why I'm being opaque about it.
Wow, damn. Sneaky.
It's not like, ooh.
The final chapter.
The most anticipated movie of the year. You know who's with us today? Miss Roxy Striar, who I love and adore. But we have to stop and look at her hair for a moment. Because this is just beautiful.
Where to get my style inspiration
amazing.
from? This girl.
Oh, thank you. I'm all faded, though.
What can I be called that's like Spenny G?
We gotta figure it out.
I was trying to go by Rox for a
Rox.
little bit.
Rox.
Just Rox, like no Y. And the pink hair feels like I could be Rox. Like if I introduce myself, hey, I'm Rox.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like Gem.
I like that.
Yeah, you
Like
can
a
be Rocks and the
3.
Holograms.
Yeah.
You said yes,
Oh.
but I feel like you didn't mean yes. I feel like your yes was actually a strong no, Spenny G.
Look, there's no wrong answers at this point. We're just spitballing. We're throwing out
that's
nicknames.
true.
People in
Yeah,
the
I
chat,
like this.
and someone can call out what the best new Roxy nickname is. How
Yeah.
about that, Billy?
Rocks.
Pinky and the
E.
Rocks.
Yeah. Striar and Striar.
That doesn't make sense.
All right, we'll fill us in
We'll
at the end of
figure
the
it
show.
out later. I'd also like a nickname if you guys.
Yeah,
but
cool.
I
Why
probably-
not?
Dirty Aunt Roth.
God damn it.
It's
You know
stuck. I'm
what?
sorry.
Let's
What
move
is it?
on. No. No.
Tell you later.
No. Star Wars got a fan edit.
Yeah, because this is better.
Yeah.
In order to remove all women. An anonymous Pirate Bay user uploaded said fan edit. And
It's
the
called
version,
the original trilogy.
This is amazing.
Finger guns.
No, let's not discount the importance of Leia ever. This version is known as The Last Jedi: defeminized fan edit. And it is described as, quote, basically The Last Jedi minus girls with a Z, power with an H, and other silly stuff. The bootleg includes a breakdown of the filmmaker's intent. It's a director statement, if you will. Quote,
Is this like Aronofsky's mother statement?
Yes, exactly. In order to explain my work, I first must release a statement. Here's what he did. Quote, cut out, and this is the person speaking for themselves, cut out most shots showing female fighters / pilots and female officers commanding people around / having ideas.
Damn them for their
Wow.
ideas. and
All
having them.
caps. No Holdo. She simply doesn't exist.
Misspelled, too.
Yes, misspelled. Her whole subplot doesn't exist. The kamikaze is carried out by Poe. Poe dies. So the way to celebrate a men's movie is to kill them, according to this gentleman. Leia never scolds, questions, or demotes Poe. He is a respected and very skilled, high-ranking member of the Resistance.
That's a good point.
When there's a scene where a woman is cut in making some important statement that can be substituted by another statement by a guy, then she gets cut out. It works
cut,
pretty
cut.
works pretty well, actually.
Works pretty well, actually.
The Wookiee eats the porg, or at least isn't interrupted in trying to do so. No green milk, and that's the key.
Why is a porg a woman?
They're all female.
Yes,
all female.
That's
Life
the
finds a
weird
way.
thing about their biology.
Got
Yes,
it.
life does always find a way.
Yeah.
And the creator added this quote: "You will probably enjoy it most when you view it as a less a blockbuster movie and more of some kind of episode from a non-existent mediocre Star Wars series." Way to sell yourself
Really
and your own
hard
creation.
selling your effort, bud.
What is a non-existent mediocre Star Wars series? Like a TV show.
The one that we're
going
going to see on Disney streaming service in 2019, I'm not sure. Hopefully. Boom. Does anybody watch The Last Man on Earth? No?
No.
Spencer.
I think that this person was super successful in their intent because clearly it was just to troll people. And look at them. This incel got their 15-minute trial version of File Edit Pro, and they cut out the girls from Star Wars. And now we're talking about them. So they win, we lose.
Yep.
That's our
Yeah.
daily mantra. Our
used to
show is
losing
going to
at
be
this
called The Rumpus Room, : they win, we lose.
Like, sink back into obscurity. Let's never speak of this again. unless you want to.
Except for Roxy's going to give her opinion on it.
Yeah, I actually almost like this. Like, I dislike it so much that I almost like it.
You've gone all the way around. All right.
Full circle.
Disliking something and liking it are very close to each other on the spectrum for me. I feel like in a situation where comedy must rule, which is something you have to live by if you are in this like icky space that we are in sometimes, this is like you made it into Legion of Doom. You are a villain, number one on my list. I love you at this point.
Legion, that's what they want. They want to be thought of as like, I'm the men's rights Dr. Doom, but
And
really they're making the Hot Pockets that the Legion of Doom then
okay with it.
eats and then makes fun of them for.
He's like,
They have to change their diet.
I mean,
They really
he's
should.
saying like female officers commanding people around / having ideas. Like
That's my favorite one, too.
Damn these people for their ideas. These women who have thoughts of their own. It's like that's kind of effing amazing.
I have to agree that when I read that and I read / having ideas, I was like, hang on, Billy, I just want to make sure this is a direct quote / having ideas is a direct quote. Because at that point, it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, it's a troll and we took the bait. We all took the bait.
Yeah, at some point we're gonna recognize that guys like this and like people like Tomi Lauren or however you pronounce her name, like we don't have to engage. Like we can just let them shout into their sad voids. God, man, go volunteer or something, dude. Like
Where?
do something
Where
good
are there no women with
in your
thoughts?
community. Yeah, look, find a petting zoo where there's no ladies or something, and
wait.
volunteer to shovel some
So
shit.
confused by
okay.
that statement.
I feel so bad for you, man. Like, it's sad. You're sad. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
It's
fun
great
to
to stay-
delete ladies.
But they got like Ryan Johnson to notice
So
them.
I have to say,
That's-
so Ryan Johnson tweeted back just this.
Like that.
Just not.
But
Fans
also,
are fun.
yeah. I mean, because why not? I'm gonna watch.
You are?
Just to know
You
what's
are?
up. Like, gotta support
It's
his
on
work.
a-
You're gonna put it right next to the
This
despecialized editions.
I'm somebody who likes to support other people. This person clearly needs the support.
Needs a little
Needs
assistance
a little
from us.
support.
I'm gonna remove all the silently brooding white guys from Christopher Nolan movies and release them. They'll be 30 seconds long.
All you're going to have left is beautiful shots.
Beautiful shots of scenery.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
Which
trying to
would be
make
nice.
a point.
That-
Like,
actually, could you do that? I could use a little screensaver.
Yeah, it'd be like Planet Earth 3.
Yeah. Roxy, what were you to say?
I don't know.
You told me a story the other day in which, and I know this has been heavily reported on, and I need Roxy to deliver the news for me. Thank you, Roxy.
You're welcome. I don't know
Ooh,
what we're talking
we're
about
just
yet.
the Pink Ladies together,
Hey.
which is a childhood dream.
Yeah, why
of
didn't they
mine.
give us any suggestions?
They did.
And these are the
Pop
Pop
Rock.
Rocks.
rocks.
Pop Rock.
I like it.
I like that.
But I'm also part of the Pink Ladies. Pop Rocks is her own identity, but as a team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pink Ladies. I love it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Pink ladies with a Z.
Yeah, just like
Girl.
girls.
Yeah.
Having
The
thoughts.
Powa thing, though, I got a little nervous because when I read Powa, I was like, oh no, is this a fellow Bostonian? We're the worst of the worst, and the best of the best.
Took
Like, God
Dick
damn
and
it.
Haldo out of the Star Wars.
Get out of my chowder.
Yeah.
Oysters. What are you doing in my chowder?
Why is somebody in your chowder?
You
doesn't
sound
quite
like
make
a
sense.
robot that's trying
Yeah,
to do
trying
a
to
funny
learn
Boston
Boston.
impression.
Yeah. It's learning.
Get out of my chowders.
Is that what I told you the other day? That stuck
There's
with you?
oysters in my chowders.
What?
Get out of the chowder.
Get out of my oysters in my
Why are
chowder.
these oysters in my chowder?
Close enough.
I'll help you.
Mark Wahlberg news. I should just skip
Oh.
right there.
Yeah?
You told me the story about Sarah Silverman, who somebody just tweeted her
Yeah.
the C word. And her response was to like help him with his medical
It was
bills.
amazing.
There's a lot of stuff in between. You should go check it out.
Whoa.
But I think we should answer with love when we can. So
Yes.
you know what? Good for you. You took some time. That had to take effort. You applied yourself.
I can't wait to see your first original short film.
Me too.
We have other news, but I'm going to skip to this because we are at Boston. Mark Wahlberg So we reported on All the Money in the World, that story the other day, yada, yada, yada. Mark Wahlberg got $1.5 million. Michelle Williams forwent her fee for the reshoots after all of the hullabaloo. Mark Wahlberg is now donating that $1.5 million to the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund in co-star Michelle Williams' name. So here's what he said, quote.
You gotta do it in the voice.
Oh, I can't. Can you?
Yeah,
Dan's
just
not
your best-
here.
just your best
Do my
Boston.
best one, my best robot Boston.
Yeah.
Quote, hey, over the last few days, my
just
reissue
happened?
fee for All the Money in the World has become an important topic of conversation.
Solid so far.
I 100% support the fight for fair pay. I'm donating the $1.5 million to Time's Up Legal Defense Fund in Michelle Williams' name
You sound like Trump.
and her mother.
Yeah.
Inexplicably. So Michelle Williams
It sounded
added.
a little like Fran Drescher whispering almost. It was good though.
Like Fran Drescher ASMR.
Which is the only
Mr.
answer.
Sheffield.
If Michelle Williams added, if we truly envision an equal world, it takes equal effort and sacrifice. Today is one of the most incredible days in my life because of Mark Wahlberg, WME, and the community of women and men who share this accomplishment. Anthony Rapp, for all the shoulders you stood on, we now stand on yours. So
WME also put in 0.5.
Oh, did they?
Right.
million. Yeah, so they put in
Nice.
2 together. He put in the 1.5 that he made, and they put in the 0.5 that they had.
Nice.
Okay.
What do you think, Roxy?
I kind of feel, wow, as the supporter of men today, I kind of feel bad for Mark Wahlberg. In
He
this
also made
situation.
that Star Wars cut.
Yeah, I do. I feel like he got a little screwed here because it's not, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He did not know what was going on in this situation necessarily. And this is over Christmas time that they had to reshoot. Mark wants to be home with his family. He doesn't want to be shooting. This is a job. He asked his agency for more money, and they gave it to him. And now, do I think that he has it to spare? Yes, I do think that. But he didn't do anything, and he got a lot of slack for something that he didn't do. It's not
Well,
like
I will
he...
contend that he was holding it hostage. It wasn't like he asked. It wasn't like they need to pay him $1.5 million or he won't sign off on Christopher Plummer.
So, do you want some insider's report?
I really do.
Please
Okay.
do.
So, insiders report that
Pink
he
lady.
was
Mark.
actually really pissed off because he wasn't happy with his role in the movie and how it was evolving. And so he was already like, screw you guys. Like, I'm not happy with this film. I'm not happy with what's going on here. And he had co-star sign off. So if he didn't approve of the co-star, they couldn't cast him. So then when they needed to recast that role, they had to get his approval. And supposedly, in order to get his approval, WME demanded that amount of money for it. So I don't disagree with you in the sense of like, from his perspective, he was like, I'm not happy with this movie. They want me to come back, then you're going to need, I already don't like where my role went with it. You're going to have to give me money in order for me to come back. And he's a business person who likes cash, who doesn't. And then it became very, very public. And nobody, I think, sat down with him and was like, Mark, in this particular situation, because of the circumstances, maybe a little, It just seems like the agency advocated for the money because they, for
their
whatever
job.
reason, that's their job. What do you think?
I think the nuance is getting a little missed. Surprise! It's the internet. I think this should have been framed more as a conversation of there's an overall culture where WME would maybe not even think to negotiate more for a female co-star,
Ding,
Michelle
ding,
Williams
ding.
or something like that, because that's just the way that it has been. I think a lot of actresses are just like trained to be like, I'll take what I can get, and trained to sort of be very nice and not get steamrolled because they'll get labeled a bitch. Or difficult to work with
Diva.
or whatever. I don't know. So I don't think this was so much about like Mark Wahlberg versus Michelle Williams, because that's the big thing I've seen screamed is like, blame her agents and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, I guess, but also I think we miss an opportunity to have a larger conversation about like why this is constant. As for Wahlberg, I feel like people are still just spewing venom at him after this. And I know it's the internet and everybody moves at the speed of a retweet now, but like, I don't know, he's a little older. He might be a little less Twitter and online savvy. Give people like a week before we're like, maybe if we like the thing on SNL with Eddie Bryant being like, maybe we shouldn't have had to shame you for a week online until you did the right thing. And it was kind of like, or
maybe we don't shame so much
Yeah.
in general. Okay, hang on. I gotta do a quick rant about this. Like, it really bothers me. Like, the bullying, shaming culture that it's not gonna get us anything good. Shame leads to only bad results. It makes people feel terrible things. It makes them behave worse ways. It suppresses things in the culture. Like, maybe we just allow for a little more humanity. Maybe we give some space for people to be human and flawed and learn and evolve and grow and make mistakes and make amends, because that's what we all do. Spencer? Chime in with a quick, really quick.
The opposite. I think that we need to just evolve
More
to the point where we're incapable of feeling shame anymore, and we all become just like mini Donald Trump narcissists who like just have no conception
There's
of
a
how
difference
gross we
between
are,
shame and guilt.
solid.
just hire people to pee on us.
Well, I'm still confused about who was doing the peeing, but that's a whole different discussion that we don't want to, because it doesn't make any sense to me that he would get peed on. It makes me way more sense that he would be, I don't.
Depends what he likes.
That's more of a movie fights thing.
Save it.
Yeah, save it for movie fights.
There's a difference between shame and guilt, though. I think that you're being facetious,
No,
which is
not on
fine.
this
But there is a big difference between shame and guilt. Guilt is I did something wrong. Shame is I am wrong. And when we do that action was not great, that's one thing. And when we do you are a piece of shit as a result of it, that's where shame
So
comes in.
you think that people should just tweet the facts? Like, for example, the Harvey Weinstein situation. You think everybody should have just tweeted this happened? Nobody should have said, and you suck?
and that Harvey Weinstein sucks?
Yeah.
Okay, Harvey Weinstein.
No, but I just
A little
don't-
different.
What is
Is
what
a
is
li-
the
is a little
line-
different.
What is the shame line? Like, what are we allowed to shame and what aren't we allowed to shame?
Well, and here's my question is that I'm not telling anybody else what to do. I'm saying what I believe leads to better results, which is this, where I get concerned and now we're just going to be really honest, where I get concerned in truth is that, like, that's fine. If you need to vent that, that's fine. I don't ultimately see where the positive result comes from that. Whereas, yeah, he's disgusting. He should be in jail. He is a monster. All true. Now, what is the next step? Not Mark Wahlberg. But what is the next step from that? How is that the positive result? Like, isn't the thing better to have empathy for the women, to have, or whoever it is, the victims of any given situation? Isn't the better thing to offer a potential solution to things than to just yell at people? I feel like all we do is yell in echo chambers and nobody's offering an actual solution, and we're just stuck shaming people and in a cycle of yelling at each other and nothing gets done.
Well, I think you're looking at two different things. One is like what's happening in the world, and the other is Twitter. Like, one is like Mark Wahlberg and WME. They're trying to make the situation good, and they gave $2 million
Yes.
to the Times Up.
And clearly in the real
how
world,
about a
Michelle
congrats?
Williams is like, cool.
You're not going to get congrats on Twitter, 'cause that's what's happening in the real world. And then online, you can only communicate in like this much text, and that's you can only get across like best thing ever, worst thing ever in a tweet. So all nuance is going to go out the window. Like, this conversation is like way more than a tweet long. So you're not going to see this conversation online. You're only going to see a comment length or a Twitter length response to this, which is fuck you, sorry, F you, or
Screw ya.
or F you for saying F you. That's all. It's the medium. The medium's the message, Roth. Like, it's the discourse is only I hate this or I love this, just because that's all we're capable of expressing online.
Can I ask an unrelated question?
Yeah, but let me just give him a quick counter argument, and I'm so sorry, but
Why are you
just,
sorry?
I'm going to send out a link later to, I think this was via a like TED Radio, don't you judge me, TED Radio hour thing I listened to in a TED Talk. And there was this woman that was a part of the Westboro Baptist Church, and she
Ooh, good one.
changed. And she changed. And do you want to know what she attributes it to? Is to people calmly talking to her on Twitter and then showing up at the rallies and slowly talking to her. And she'd been indoctrinated her whole life, and she changed because people can have a dialogue in whatever medium if they choose to. It's just harder.
But having
It's
a
just
calm
harder.
dialogue on Twitter is like I don't know.
It's like having women in Star Wars.
Exactly, Joe.
I mean,
Thank
what's
you.
the point?
Just not doable.
Just not. Roxy, please.
Get rid of it.
Please.
This is a very embarrassing thing to say on air, because I know everybody thinks this is amazing, and I feel ignorant and just I don't understand. When she writes, and obviously I know who Anthony Rapp is, but when she says, Anthony Rapp, for all the shoulders you stood on, now we stand on yours.
Yeah, I thought it was weird too.
The shoulders that you stood on.
It's a weird sounding sentence.
It's a weird
Wait.
sentence.
And everybody was like, that's amazing. Thank you for acknowledging him. And I agree with that, but I don't really get it.
I think
weird sentence.
it's a really weird sentence.
For
Yeah.
all the shoulders you stood on, now we stand on yours.
Because when you stand on shoulders, usually it's like you and I are standing on the shoulders of like
giants.
the
People who came
trailblazers
before.
who came
Whose
before.
shoulders did he stand on?
Yeah, no. It doesn't really work. But I think her sentiment was,
No, it's
Anthony
nice.
Rapp, this one's for you.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
She poured
There you
one
go.
out for Anthony Rapp.
Pouring one out for you.
Yeah.
That's why actors get scripts.
Poured,
Yeah. I read this and everyone was like, she poured
poured
that
that $2
beautiful.
million
And I was like,
out for him.
For Anthony
Pouring this
Rapp.
$2 million out to the it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Okay.
This is why writer strikes are so
Yeah, it doesn't-
important.
I felt
you guys.
very stupid. I read it, and every
Yeah.
single person I saw was tweeting about it, and like Twitter Moments was like, "This is so perfect," and I was like, "Huh."
Yeah.
Again, Twitter, perfect or the worst.
Yeah. There's plenty of other reasons to dislike Mark Wahlberg, guys. Let this one go.
Plenty, or to like him. You can like him too.
It
Let's
rhymes
just
with
give one
read.
up to writers.
No,
So
rhymes with
I'm
read,
sorry,
Creed.
Billy's trying to tell me
Creed.
something.
He's saying Creed, man.
Creed,
Creed.
go to Creed. He
Creed
said
2.
go to Creed. Creed 2. Creed 2 cast. Okay, can we talk about the fact that they have my ticket? Why? Because Creed 1 was really good, but 2, Dolph is actually in this movie, and his son is going to be played by German-Romanian boxer Florian Munteanu, who will square off against
works
Michael B.
out.
Jordan. This is via the Hollywood Reporter. Here's some pictures of pictures of the man, the mountain, if you will. And we are going to have a guest spot coming in very shortly from Mr. JTE, who has opinions.
Yes.
Should I leave?
Woo, woo, woo.
I'll leave.
yeah,
No,
JT,
no,
sit
no,
down.
it's fine.
No,
You
we're
can just-
professionals. Sit in a chair.
We
Sit
should-
in a chair.
Well, he has to go back to the booth in a minute. Don't hit your head. That thing is so
We'll
dangerous.
switch out, Joe. Don't worry.
Professionalism.
As the Rocky
Thank you for
expert
that
here.
solo shot on my
Talk to me.
face. Whoever entered the booth. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Billy.
It was just me
Hey, just leave it
smiling.
on the wide. Okay, there you go there. As the Rocky expert, I think this is a pretty good casting because it has a history of not casting actors. Mr. T, first film, Rocky 3, was a bodyguard. Had no acting. Jumped in, he saw something in him, he saw animalistic charisma. Then, Tommy Morrison, a lot of people don't like Rocky 5. Okay? I don't hate it. But he's actually decent in that movie. Antonio Tarver, Rocky Balboa. Again, okay. Not horrible. None of these guys have been horrible.
So it's 1 for 3.
It's 1 for 3, but the other 2 is their base hits. They're not like, strikeouts. And I think with this one, Drago's probably, his son
Well,
is
wait,
gonna be-
JT, let me interrupt you.
What?
Creed. They cast a boxer as like pretty
Yes,
Ricky
no,
or something.
did
He was
great.
awesome.
I agree. That's what I was
There you
about
go.
to get to.
Okay.
But with this guy, I think it's going to be the easiest. I mean, listen, I love Dolph Lundgren, but he literally just had to have a presence and spewed out like a small sentence once in a while.
Whoa.
I'm just talking about for
Whoa,
Rocky 4.
let's
He had
not
a
besmirch
presence.
Dolph.
I love Dolph.
He's got
okay?
like 4 lines.
He's got like
Yes.
I'm saying, he brought a presence. though.
And-
And each one matters.
And exactly,
Yeah.
each one matters
True, yep.
because of what Dolph brings and what he's able to deliver
true.
wordlessly. I think that we should show a little more respect.
No, exactly, a presence, and I think that's what this character has to have. He has to have. I think he's going to talk more. He's going to have a little bit more. His dad's going to be there, mumbling something every once in a while. I think Dolph. For me, the biggest excitement is besides this casting is seeing Dolph and Rocky actually interacting after all these years. Like, how do you talk to somebody? There's not going to be like, it's like Muhammad Ali and Frazier. They became friends afterwards. They're like, hey, we had some great fights. These guys aren't going to like each other.
Are you sure though? I think they
He
might be.
killed Creed. How do you forget?
But at the end of
somebody?
Rocky 4, like there was a lot of mutual respect.
Been so many years since then.
That's the thing. There's mutual respect between
But
America and
plus,
Russia.
must you
but
pay for
Drago was
the
not
sins of your
respecting
father?
anybody. Say it again.
Must you pay for the sins of your father?
Well, what I heard about
question.
this movie is like this guy is angry. He wants to restore the name of the Drago name.
Sure.
He's going to be going after Creed. He's not going to be like, "Hey, I'm sorry. My dad killed your dad and I want to fight."
Wait.
He's going to come at
But
him
maybe
hard.
his father will be
I-
like a moderating influence. Like, don't go
I
down
don't
that
want
path,
that.
my
No,
son.
I don't want that. I want him to
Oh.
be bitter angry and want, like, basically I'm hoping like he raised this kid for revenge. Drago was built by the
Same way
Russians.
he was raised like a machine.
He raised this kid to be a killing machine. He's like, and you would
Where do
think
they
that.
live? Are they here? Like, are
That's
they
the thing. I don't know. I'm curious. Like, I'm sure it's gonna be. I don't think the guy they cast is actually from Germany, I believe. So like,
Well, Dolph Lundgren's Swedish.
Also
yeah,
Swedish,
Swedish.
yeah.
So like, I think it's definitely gonna have that over the country kind of appeal. I don't think he's gonna be in America fighting in the ranks. I think it's gonna be much like Rocky IV. It was an exhibition. There was no title on the line. It was just a personal match. And I love the fact
grudge
that
match?
a grudge match. I love the fact though about it. It doesn't sound
term.
like Creed
that
is
horrible
going
movie.
after Drago. It doesn't sound like Creed wants this fight. It sounds like Drago's son is going after Creed, which I kind of love.
Yeah, because he's jumping the Rocky order of things, which is that in the sequel he has to go get his title from, Apollo.
Yes.
He has to get his title back before Mr. T shows up, and then finally,
the fool.
in the fourth movie, if we're really following the Rocky formula,
Yeah.
he can fight Drago.
I really am so sorry to bring this up in our love fest right now, but
Go ahead.
Is Stallone on our okay list again?
Listen, trust me. I don't. I paid attention to this. To me, it is literally he came out with a statement saying he never heard of the thing before. It's literally at this point. She said there's a police report, and the victim has not come out and said anything since the report has come out. So for me, it's really kind of up in the air. That's my.
It's
I would have
interesting
loved
that
if
some people we recast them and their movies must go away and they can never see the light of day, and some
Yeah.
people it's just like fuck yeah. Sorry, what are we supposed to say now? Yeah, hell yeah, heck yeah, screw yeah, whatever the word is. Like Creed, yeah. We're excited. I just don't know where the. But maybe
No,
I don't know.
if somebody was totally like, I can't go watch that movie, I would not fight him for a second. But I totally understand. But at the same time, like, it really was kind of like brought up and nothing was really followed up, even from like, I was curious to hear from the actual victim who did the police report, and there was anything said. But again, that's her choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to not
Yeah.
leave it on that
Sorry,
note,
guys.
because I
I'm
am
so
now
sorry.
getting the rap from Joe Starr. Everyone has switched positions today. Joe Starr is now my producer. JT
I will now
is the
tap out and go
co-host.
back because I have to close.
Billy
the
You
is
did
the
a great job.
TriCaster operator.
JT for the win.
He's going to go run the camera, but
Yeah.
no, you're not allowed to do that. Just stay in right.
Wah, wah.
Stay in right and talk about things and be funny. You do you. You're the best at being you. Everybody be the best at being them.
Be
Really
your best
quickly,
self.
because I did tease this. Saudi Arabia had a
Billy literally said, "Don't talk about this," and end the show.
Can we talk about this tomorrow? Because it's a
Let's
really
talk
fun
about
story.
it tomorrow. It's a fun story that we're going to dig into tomorrow. We're going to wrap it
So
up for today.
fun.
And let's leave us with these thoughts. She's amazing. He's amazing. He's amazing. And then I'm going to get a comment that's like, we get it, Roth. Everybody's amazing. And so are you.